Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, X-Blick, right here with you guys with the 100 subscriber special. Yes, guys, so I just want to thank you guys so much for pretty much clicking on these vids and subscribing. And yeah, even though it's not really me, it's literally just me posting videos of myself talking to myself about random scenarios that could happen in a fantasy world. But I'm just glad that you guys are entertained and enjoy my videos enough that you can click on them and watch them, and that you actually enjoy them. So I just want to thank you guys so much for the fact that you have subscribed and that you are continuously watching, if you do. If you are new to this channel, then well, welcome. I'm X-Blick, and I just want to thank you for clicking on the video. Anyway, I want to thank one or two people. I want to thank God, firstly, for, you know, helping me out and just giving me this kind of experience. And two, I want to thank Golden What Ifs for helping me out. And I want to thank him for this absolute banger of a thumbnail. Like, I originally had another thumbnail thought of, but he just sent me through this through DMs, and he was like, yo, use this. And I was like, bro, like, you're a legend, dude. You are the greatest guy, and I just want to thank you so much for helping me out getting through this and helping me get to my first 100 subscribers. And yeah, I'm just so thankful, and I just want to thank everybody for clicking on this video and everybody that supported me, my family, friends, all those guys. Thank you all for helping me out. Anyway, let's just get straight into this banger what if. Just remember, like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and let's just get straight into this epic what if, which is, what if Deku and Bakugo were Saiyans? Let's get it! So, as you guys can see from the thumbnail, this is what if Deku and Bakugo were Saiyans from the Dragon Ball series. And yeah, so hopefully I can do this well. If you guys don't enjoy it, then, well, that's sad. But I've done my own little twist on it, tried to keep away from the norm. And yeah, so hopefully this goes really well, and I just hope you guys do really enjoy this series. So, before this what if kind of starts up, gotta give out a couple of details. So, firstly, this universe is going to be very similar to Universe 7. Just so I can add in a couple of characters, and hopefully that, or just one character pretty much. But, yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much about it. And, the other thing is that quirks in this kind of what if, they're going to be like derived around ki. So ki kind of is what gives people the quirks. And yeah, so different like quirks can affect our characters because they are pretty much ki based. So through that they can kind of, yeah. Hopefully you guys can get it. I don't really. Yeah. Kind of bad explanation, but hopefully you guys get it. So pretty much the quirk powers are created around like ki and all that. So ki is the creator and foundation of quirks. There you go. But pretty much humans and all the people with quirks and all that, they don't know that ki is what gives them their quirks, but yeah, oh well. But anyway, so let's just get straight into the story. In a universe similar to Universe 7 of Dragon Ball, there is this man. He's quite a quite short man. He has just taken control and over his father of the universe conquering kind of kingdom, as this man, Lord Frieza, has taken control of planet Vegeta, and the Saiyans are now under his rule. As a few years after this, a few children, a couple of Saiyan children are born, as these two are named Deku and Bakugo, as they are born on planet Vegeta. Deku is born to his father Hisashi and his mother Inko, as Katsuki, or as Bakugo, no, sorry, mind blank there. Their names are Deku and Katsuki, as Katsuki is born to his father Masaru and his mother Mitsuki. As I know these are pretty, like, you know, the original names, but I can't be bothered to change them. Like, yeah, so pretty much they grow up on completely different kind of sides of the Saiyan kind of world, as Masaru is a high official in the kind of Saiyan court and all that, as he's one of King Vegeta's advisors, where Hisashi is more of a Bardock-like character, more of a warrior, and less, but also not completely recognized for his greatness, as Deku is born in a kind of just down in the city, down like in the kind of middle class, as Katsuki is born in the high class, as he is brought up thinking that he is the best, as Hisashi is a Bardock-like character and Inko is a Gine-like character, with Hisashi's main ability being a super powerful kind of mouth beam, which represents his fire breath ability or quirk in the original My Hero Academia canon. As this kind of plays out, as pretty much they are born as their lives are pretty generic. Katsuki is said to be quite a high class warrior, where Deku is more said to be a more lower class warrior, like Bakugo, or like Vegeta and kind of Goku. As this happens, we are going to take a 5-year time skip, as they are both 5 years old. Deku is 5 years old, and he is confirmed to be a lower class Saiyan, as pretty much Hisashi takes Deku off to a different planet to kind of train his abilities to make sure he doesn't completely suck. So he trains his only child, because Deku is going to be an only child. He won't have that kind of brother figure that Goku has. But yeah, so they go to a remote planet as they train Hisashi, teaching Deku kind of the basics of ki control, and also teaching him to have a sort of control over his great ape form. As they train like this for around 2 years, just on and off, like every couple months they'd go up to the planet for a couple days and then go back to planet Vegeta. As Bakugo, through this, he has been trained through all these years. He's been trained hard, he's been given the best trainers, and he is just like said to be pretty much a prodigy among along with King Vegeta's child, Prince Vegeta, who is 2 years older than them. As he is kind of trained up, and he creates his own kind of key technique and ability called Palm Explosion, which is pretty much Bakugo's quirk, but with ki. So he doesn't sweat nitroglycerin, he causes a orb in his hand to detonate a gigantic explosion towards, away from his hand. So 2 years later, through this, Deku is 7 years old as he gains full control of his great ape form, or most control over his great ape form, and has a very good ki control, as he is able to handle his own against a few of the kind of Saiyan warriors, and he is, for a lower class Saiyan, a lot stronger than a lot of his peers, as they haven't really trained themselves as much as he has. As pretty much he and a couple other Saiyans go off world to defeat kind of a primitive race of random people as they go off to a different planet, him and Bakugo, or Katsuki, as they go off and they pretty much kill them all, and like take over the entire planet, selling them off, as they've got their own kind of commander. They've been given their own squadron of kind of Saiyans, as their commander of the party, his name is Commander Neon, random character, as they pretty much take over the entire planet. Through this, Deku creates a new technique called Photon Enhancement, which is the strength enhancement powers of One for All, but with pretty much ki. So even though like a lot of characters enhance themselves with ki, this is like a ultimate enhancement. So his main kind of ability is like a strength and kind of ability boosting enhancement power, which is like pretty much One for All. So through this, he is probably about 3% or 3 to 5% of One for All in Saiyan strength. So if you gave a Saiyan One for All, he would be about the same strength as Deku was if he was a hopefully if you get it, that's good, as they pretty much conquered the entire planet. This happens for the next year or so as they go around and keep conquering planets and taking them over, as they keep training and getting stronger, etc. As through this, Bakugo and Deku have the same dynamic as they did during pretty much middle school and all that, where Bakugo's attitude stays the same. He still thinks he's the strongest and thinks that Deku is a weak-sauce little child. So pretty much this happens for like a year and a half or so, as Deku and Katsuki are now 8 years old, as Deku is on planet Vegeta training in the forest with Hisashi. As they are kind of training, Deku is trying to get better control of his photon enhancement, as if he goes any higher than 5%, his muscles start to spasm, and he gets quite injured from it. As even though this will give him a massive Zenkai boost, he doesn't want it to happen all the time, or else he'll start like permanently damaging body parts. So yeah, as as Hisashi and Deku are training, they talk about like how Deku's planet fighting and how his conquering is going. As Hisashi asks him like, how is it going? Like, are you doing well? Are you getting enough experience from it? As I know that Saiyan fathers aren't normally very nice or loving to their children, but this is my story, so I can do what I want. As they train through it, as they like say, like Hisashi asks like, how is his kind of conquering going? As Deku says, yeah, it's good. That Katsuki guy, you know, the son of that high-ranking official, whatever, he's a bit of an eyesore, bit of an earache. But apart from that, it's fine. As Hisashi says, well, you get those people on your squadrons, you either just wish they'd die, or you get to the point where you kind of end up getting to know them and they're not as bad. Deku's like, yeah, I hope you're right, Dad. As they're training, as Deku they're both using energy blasts. They're pretty much just sparring and getting strength training. They've created there's this cliff kind of place on the planet, as Deku and Hisashi's training him as he kind of punches through a hill, as he's created a quite large tunnel through the hill. Yeah, so as this happens, pretty much Inko kind of calls out to them as they have made, or she has made food for the two of them, as they go out and make food. And yeah, so a couple days later, Deku, Bakugo, and Deku, Katsuki, and Hisashi are called off-world, as they're given a couple days to prepare, as they pretty much all go around, say goodbye to Inko, as Deku he doesn't really want to go because he and his mother have a very strong relationship, but they have to go anyway, as so Deku, he's like, bye mum, as Inko's like, goodbye my son, goodbye Deku, I'll see you in a couple months or so, as Deku shakes his head, he's like, yeah, I'll see you soon, as they then go to a planet with a crazy strong wildlife, as they're kind of a primitive but also just insanely strong race of people, as the people on this planet, the Saiyans, are also kind of with and accompanied with a lot of Frieza Force soldiers, as Frieza has figured out that this planet has got a lot of resources on it, so he doesn't want to leave it so some lowly Saiyans and some lowly monkeys. Sorry, that was my Frieza impression. So they kind of go, and he has sent a lot of Frieza Force soldiers to accompany the Saiyans. Sorry about that. So through this, a lot of fights have occurred, as a few of the fights, they are are a lot more challenging as others, as sometimes they're just the creatures are quite humanoid-like, as they are pretty much humanoid kind of creatures, but a lot stronger and have grey skin, I'm gonna say, as they also have horns on their head. They kind of look like demons from Demon Slayer. I'm gonna go with that. They look like demons from Demon Slayer, and they're kind of like demons from Demon Slayer. But a lot of them, they're a lot stronger than others, or all of that. As one of the fights, Deku and a few of his kind of friends, I'm gonna say, I guess, a lot of his squad, there you go, are in a kind of foresty area, as they are going around the forest, or not forest, but a plains kind of deserty, grey, rocky area, as there is a large army of these creatures, as they start attacking the Saiyans. As this kind of happens, Deku sees a giant kind of guy. He's got a strange kind of spider face, as he's very muscular. If you guys get the Demon Slayer reference, then that's good. But yeah, so he creates there's a giant giant spider looking thing, as it takes down a couple of the Saiyans, as Deku, he boosts across, as he screams out, "Photon Enhancement!" 8%! As lightning starts surge, or green kind of turquoise cyan lightning trickles around him as it shocks around his muscles, as his muscles start to grow, as he starts to get larger and get stronger, as he just appears pretty much in front of the monster, as he punches it square in the face with a key powered fist, as he punches the kind of creature square in the face, as its head just implodes on itself, causing a giant hole in its skull. As this happens, Deku's arm gets a massive kind of strain on it, as he then reels back in pain as he goes out and attacks a few other creatures, as he is not strong enough for 8% just yet, but he shall be in a soon time. As this happens, kind of a few weeks later, they get the call to go back to planet Vegeta, as kind of Lord Frieza wants all Saiyans to go back to planet Vegeta, as they're all wondering, like, this is a bit strange, like, why would he do that, and like, why wouldn't he just send out a message or something if he wanted us to do something. As anyway, a lot of the Saiyans are sent back, as only a small portion of their squad stays behind. This includes Bakugo, or Katsuki, and Captain Neon, or Commander Neon, whatever his face is. Yeah, Commander Neon. As pretty much everybody kind of is sent off, apart from like a few Saiyans, including Katsuki and Captain Neon, as Deku and Hisashi go back to planet Vegeta. As they go back, Deku, Hisashi, and that one other guy from kind of Dragon Ball Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, those guys are in the pod together, as they kind of in there, as they start talking about like why like Frieza would want sorry, yeah, one other guy, as they talking about like why he would Frieza would want them all to come back, as they all kind of arrive back, as they get to the conclusion that Frieza wants to destroy the planet or wants to kill the Saiyans because, or Hisashi comes to the conclusion, because of the Super Saiyan legend. As this kind of happens, Hisashi then takes Deku, as he steals a pod a few days later, as he steals a pod and bring him and Inko send Deku off as the same kind of reunion thing, as they go out to a random field, as Deku is put, they put Deku in a pod when he's sleeping one day, as he wakes up when he gets in the pod, as they launch, or jumping across, as they get to a random field, as Deku asks him, like, Dad, what are you doing, Dad? Like, why can't you guys come with me, please? As they're like, I'm sorry, my son, but you must live on. As he's like, no, please come with me. As he's like, as actually like, I'm sorry, my son, but live on. Goodbye, my son. As kind of Deku starts flying off, as he sends him to a planet called Earth, as he's sent off the world Goku style, as Inko starts breaking down in tears that she has to watch her son leave. But yeah, so Deku is sent off, as 2 weeks later, kind of Hisashi preps himself, as he realizes like Frieza is going to blow up the planet. So Hisashi goes out as he prepares himself, as he fights all of the Frieza Force soldiers all the way up to Frieza. As he's fighting them all, just taking them all down, as he screams out to Frieza, he's like, "Frieza! I won't let you destroy my planets! I will destroy you!" As Frieza's just like, how amusing, as he like creates an orb in his finger, as just a small orb turns into a gigantic planet-sized just ball of ki. As he just starts laughing, he's just like as he throws the giant orb towards the planet, as Hisashi, who is quite beaten, bruised and cut and just injured, as his clothes are all torn and ripped, he's like screaming like, "No!" as he lets out a giant mouth beam as it smashes straight into the planet, or into the giant orb, as it slowly, as it kind of prevents the ball from kind of coming, it slows it down. However, it's not enough, as Hisashi brings out another beam, as he bursts out to another beam from his hand, as the two beams connect, like his mouth beam and his hand beam, as they both connect into a gigantic beam, as it's still going against Frieza's ball, but it's not enough, as the giant ki orb smashes into Hisashi, incinerating him immediately. As after this, the planet kind of blows up. Yeah, like Planet Vegeta goes kaboom, as Bakugo and their party gets the call, as they're just about to kind of leave, as they've kind of conquered the planet, as they are preparing to leave the planet, as Commander Nyan gets the call. He's like, "What the, like, the planet, our entire planet's been destroyed!" As they're wondering, like, what's going on? As they're kind of looking at each other, Frieza Force soldiers, like a large amount of them, start kind of preparing themselves to like just start surrounding the Saiyans, or coming towards the Saiyans. As at this point there's probably only about 5 of them, 6 of them left, as they're kind of talking. Katsuki's like, what's going on, like what's going on, like how are we gonna, what are we gonna do now? As Commander Nyan's like, knowing Frieza, he probably destroyed the planet or something like that. But yeah, they kind of are talking about this, as one of the Saiyans gets a massive energy beam square to the head, killing the Saiyan on impact. As they turn around, seeing a Frieza Force soldier with his hand outstretched, with a kind of smoke coming off of his hand, as a bunch of the Frieza Force soldiers then kind of prepare energy beams as they start fighting the Saiyans. The Saiyans start taking down the Frieza Force soldiers, but the Frieza, there's too many of them, as these soldiers start killing Saiyan by Saiyan, but there's like not enough of the Saiyans to take down an entire army of the Frieza Force, as the Frieza Force ends up wiping out all but 2 of the Saiyans. As Commander Nyan, he tells Bakugo, he's like, "Boy, get into a pod and leave." As like Katsuki's like, what do you mean? Like, I can't leave you. Like, what do you mean? We'll fight them together. We'll take them all out. We'll kill them all. As the kind of Commander now is like, "Get it through your thick skull, boy. You're not special. If you die here, all the Saiyans would have been wiped out. You have to leave and secure our race. You have to leave. It doesn't matter about the battle. As long as our race survives, it doesn't matter. As Katsuki's like, but, like, what about you? Like, you can come with as well. We'll both be able to survive. As Nyan just grabs Bakugo by the shirt as he taps the they kind of get back to one of the kind of space orbs kind of ships. As he taps on the thing, opens up the pod as he grabs Bakugo by the collar and throws him in, closing the door and just sets in random coordinates as the shuttle boosts up. After this, Commander Nyan is kind of blasted to death by multiple ki blasts from the Freezer Force soldiers. About 2 weeks, maybe 1 week. 1 week after Izuku is sent to Earth from the planet Vegeta, he finally arrives to Earth as the small space pod kind of smashes into the land, causing a large crater in a large field on kind of Earth. As this happens, an older man sees that something just struck into his field as he kind of rushes over to the crash site. As he looks into the pod, seeing it's a young child sleeping in the pod, as the old man struggles to get the pod open, as he finally gets it open after a bit of struggling, as he grabs the small Deku as he puts him in an extra bed in his home and kind of prepares, like, kind of looks around the pod seeing what it is. A few hours later, Deku wakes up in a bed as he's like wondering what's going on, like, what is this? Why is, like, there's these strange things, like, what is this place? As he looks around, as he kind of scouts the room, he looks around it, investigates everything until he opens up the door, figures out how to open up the door. As he opens up the door and leaves and goes down a hall until he reaches until he gets like a certain smell. He smells a certain thing as he walks in, as he sees this older man kind of cooking something. As Deku, like, he's just looking around, he's like just kind of staring blankly around, just like around the room, as the older man notices Deku as he looks and says, you're finally awake. That's good. Well, hello, my name is Saito Nozen. We're just living on the outside, kind of a few kilometers away from Masaru City, and what else? Welcome to my house. As Deku, he's looking around and he's like just wondering, like, what is this place? He's kind of just curious. As Saito says, the sausages are ready. As he flips them on, puts them on a plate, as he asks, like, does he want them to be cut up, or does he want to cut them up, or what? As Deku kind of just looks at him and tilts his head, like, wondering, like, what's going on? As he's like, I'll just leave them here on the table. As he puts sausages on the table, as he looks like at them, kind of skeptical, like, what is this? Until he sees the man sit opposite him with knife and fork, as he starts eating up the sausages. As Deku, he looks at the sausages like, okay, so you eat them, that's cool. So he picks up the fork and knife as he looks at it, as he like wonders like what's going on. Like he's kind of prying at the food until he just grabs it with his hand and just takes a bite out of it, as he realizes that this tastes really good, like really good. So he just starts mowing into the sausages, as he just starts tearing into them. He just eats them up like in a few seconds, as the man kind of asks, like, Saito asks, like, who Deku is, and Deku says, like, so the man asks, like, so, what's your name, young man? As Deku says, Deku. As no one says, Deku, that's a very strange name. Where are you from? As Deku just doesn't reply, as the old man sees Deku's tail wrapped around his, or sees something wrapped around his waist. Oh, giddy yard. Sorry about that one. Yeah, so he sees the tail, or this thing wrapped around Deku's waist, as he asks, like, is that your quirk? As Deku, like, yeah. Or, no, sorry, we're gonna retcon that. So, Deku, he's like, since he's eating and he's like enjoying it, he releases his kind of tail from around his waist as it starts kind of waving in the ears. The man's kind of confused. He asks, like, is that your quirk? As Deku looks behind him and sees his tail's like waving in the air, as he like quickly wraps it around his waist again. As Deku kind of looks at the man and asks, like, a quirk? What's a quirk? As the man, like, the man's kind of baffled. He's like, a quirk? You know, a quirk, don't you, like, a supernatural ability, don't you have a quirk? As Deku, he slowly shakes his head, he says, like, I don't know what's a quirk. As the man says, well, anyway, it's pretty obvious that was a big kind of spaceship. Are you not from this planet or something? As Deku just shakes his head, as the man kind of understands. Saito's like, I understand. Well, I won't push anything, it's probably a bit sensitive. Anyway, this house is your house, my house is your house, and yeah, if you want to stay here, that's cool. As Deku shakes his, like, nods his head as he starts eating into the sausages again. As pretty much after this, Deku kind of just goes wandering around the house and around the property as he sees he's surrounded in fields, and then there's this big kind of mountain probably about a kilometer away from the house. Well, this big kind of hill about a kilometer from the house. As he kind of makes his way to the mountain, kind of floating, or yeah, not really floating, just walking towards the mountain as he sees it. As he starts training at this hill, as he sees, like, this is quite a cool hill, so he starts punching into the hill. He starts using, like, his ki, as he does ki blasts into the hill, as he creates, like, a big tunnel into the hill until he drills, just keeps drilling through the hill until he kind of just makes it all the way through. And also, beside this kind of tunnel, he also creates another tunnel where he just purely punches it without any ki enhancements or anything, just pure strength. He punches the mountain or the hill, causing a big kind of tunnel to occur. As pretty much this happened for a while, as one day kind of Saito like talks to Deku about heroes, because Saito just understands, like, he says he understands that Deku like isn't from this place. So he asks like, do you know what heroes are, Deku? Deku shakes his head as the man says, okay, well, anyway, since you're on this planet, would you like to be my son or something like that? As Deku just looks at him and kind of nods his head as he kind of thinks, yeah, that would be cool. As the man's like, okay, from now on your name is Izuku Nozen, or no, I'll give you my son-in-law's, my daughter's kind of name. As Dick is like, okay, so your name is Izuku Midoriya. As Deku's like, okay, it's pretty cool. So that's how Deku gets the Izuku name. As his name is Izuku Midoriya. As he explains heroes to Deku, like Deku's like, what are these heroes? Because he starts hearing like people talk about heroes and all that. As he's sent to school after like a year or so. As he asked Saito one day, he's like, he arrives from school. As he asks Saito, he says, Mr. Saito, what are these heroes that all the kids are talking about? Like, what are they? As Saito says, heroes. Well, heroes are pretty much people who save other people. They put their lives on the line to save others who aren't able to save themselves. As Deku, he gets quite interested and motivated as he wants to become a hero. And from here, we're going to do a 6-year time skip. So Izuku is now 14 years old. Through this, Deku has gotten a lot stronger. He is overpowered and he has got a body built like a Greek god. This man he's built like Goku. He's like a Saiyan. He is just shredded, 0% body fat. As he's about 5'10". Or no, he's probably about 5'9" or 8 when he's 15 years old. But yeah. So he's he's got a very chilled out personality, and he's not as Saiyan-like, so he's not super aggressive Saiyan pride and all that. But he's also not wuss baby Deku that he is in the kind of original canon. As through this, Deku has trained his Photon Enhancement and is up to about 40% one for all. And yeah, so through this, through his time, he has also told Saito about his past and pretty much everything about how he's a part of a warrior race called Saiyans and that they sell planets and all that. And Saito gets a little bit scared. He's like, is that why you came? And Deku's like, no, as far as I know, my planet got erased from existence. And Saito's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. As Deku's like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. But anyway, but yeah, so Saito is also a very smart person. He's kind of like a, who's a good example? I don't know. He's just a very smart person, and he pretty much creates robots for Deku to train with, as Deku has trained and is just very, very strong. So through this, he's also created his own version of Danger Sense. So it's kind of like Ultra Instinct without the white hair and like literal god-like. He's not like that. He's just he's a very good Danger Sense. So he can sense any malicious intent coming towards him, any danger and anything like that, and he can dodge it. And yeah, so he's also created an energy beam move called Rail Blast. This blast is pretty much like he kind of puts his arm out straight as he puts another hand kind of over the back of his hand as he lets out a large blast, as it's kind of a like a railgun. So it's a big beam with kind of a spiral-ish kind of beam towards it, and then after that the beam kind of infuses with the spiral as they turn into a big beam as it smashes into the opponent. So that is Rail Blast. And pretty much his school, it's not a very big school as he is from a smaller town, but there he is 100% the best. He is super strong. He is number one. Like, the teachers are scared of him, everybody's scared of him, but they also know that he's a very chilled out guy, but also, like, if you annoy him, you're going to die. So that's kind of how he is. And yeah, so for the final day of school, he the teacher comes in, as it does the same interaction as the original canon. As he comes in, he's like, alright, kind of quick, or not quick, we're gonna be doing a kind of test thing where you're gonna figure out what school you're gonna be going to, or career aptitude test. As they're like, huh? Really? And he's like, no, I know you want to be heroes! As everybody flashes their quirks, and Deku's just sitting there, as he's just chilling out, just leaning back, just thinking about, like, what am I gonna have for lunch? Because he has got the massive appetite that pretty much all Saiyans have. As the man says, like, as the teacher says, and it seems that Izuku Midoriya is going to be going to UA. As everybody's like, yeah, he can make it. Like, he's super strong, he can make it. He's pretty good. But yeah, so, pretty much, after that, Deku kind of goes home, as he kind of gets home and says hi to Saito as he goes into kind of the backyard, as he's got a small bit left of the tunnel to create, as Saito did also want kind of a train kind of road thing, because he has got like a farm, so it will be easier for him to kind of train or to drive through and go through the mountain. So Deku has created like a big tunnel, and he's finally created like 2 big tunnels as he finally destroys the end of the tunnel, making it easier for him to go through. And this wasn't a small hill, this was like a long hill, so it was like, I'd say 3 kilometers long or something like that. I don't know, that's pretty far, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so he creates like a big kind of tunnel and a big kind of cave where he can do all his building and all of that, and mess around and also do his farming. As after this, he kind of tells Saito that, hey, like, Dad, I'm gonna be, well, he doesn't call Saito Dad, he's like, hey, Saito, I'm gonna be going, like, to UA today, so, or going to Mustafu, so, okay, I'll see you later, I'll call you, like, all the time. As Saito's like, yeah, you better call me every day, boy, like, come on, but you do your best. You do your best, and I know you're gonna become the number one hero. As Deku's like, yeah, right. As he gets on the train and goes to Mustafu, which is the original city that Deku lived at. As he kinda gets there, as he arrives to Mustafu a few hours later, and as this happens, he's walking to his kind of rental home, which he has already kind of bought, because Deku has got a job, or had a job, he doesn't have one anymore, but yeah, so he kind of bought this rental home for him to live at while he's at UA, and yeah, so he kind of arrives and prepares to go to the rental home, as he goes under this kind of overpass, as he just straight up senses something strange underneath this, like in the sewers, as this big sludgy thing comes out, as it screams out, "Rah! Give me your body, kid! I didn't know that freak was in town! Give me your body!" As Deku's like, well, sorry, man, but, that's not happening. As he's like, "You're cocky. Well, I'll take your body anyway." As he jumps up at the man, at Deku, as he prepares to envelop him, as Deku just says, "Kelgun," as a big blast just hits the sludge villain, making it go everywhere, just dispersing it and just sending it everywhere, as the sludge villain kind of just gets knocked out from that, as Deku pulls out a bottle, which he had a drink bottle, as he quickly just sculls the water, as he picks up the sludge villain and prepares to, and starts emptying the sludge into the bottle, as he has, "Ha ha ha! Have no fear! Why? Because I am here!" As All Might bursts out of the kind of sewer drain, as he prepares to punch, but he sees just Deku with like a confused blank kind of flat face, like the low detail, if you have an idea, that low detail, like that Saitama kind of blank face, as he's just like, okay. As the man's like, or as All Might says, well, I see that you've already dealt with the villain, young man. What is your name? As Izuku says, my name's Izuku Midoriya. Why? As, All Might's like, well, good job on defeating the villain, young Midoriya. Anyway, how did you do it? As Izuku says, I used my abilities quirk thing. Is almost like, yes, very well, young man. Anyway, thank you very much for defeating this villain. As they start kind of packing up the villain, as Deku, All Might asks, like, is Deku going to UA? And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm here. Like, I'm gonna go to UA and become the best hero I can possibly be. As almost like, very well, young man. Anyways, it was very nice meeting you, and I will see you at UA. As Deku's like, okay, cool. As, All Might jumps off with the villain and doesn't drop the bottles like an absolute buffoon. As Deku arrives at his rental home and stays there. As after that, pretty much that night, Deku goes to Dagua Beach, as he starts cleaning up trash without any enhancements, any kind of key or anything. He just picks up the trash and just moves it with one arm, just an entire pile of trash, like 50 refrigerators, 1,000 houses. I don't know. But yeah, so Deku's just picking up a bunch of kind of the trash and moving it and cleaning up the thing with no enhancements, just pure strength, like an absolute Chad. As we have a 3-week time skip, as Deku has finished cleaning. As he's like, 3 weeks. It's not bad. It's doing pretty well. As he looks left to right, as every single speck of trash on the beach has been cleared. There is no beach, or no beach. There was no beach before he was there. There's no trash to be seen miles from each side. As Deku, after this, starts hardcore training for the next 10 months. He does breath training as he goes under the salt water, as he holds weights and does, like, he has, like, fridges and like different trash that he's already cleaned up, as he strapped them up with like rope and all that and turned them into weights, as he goes under the water and does squats, sit-ups, endurance training without breathing, as he's just getting absolutely shredded. And this happens for the next 10 months, or I guess 9.5 months, but yeah, so he gets that done. And pretty much the final day, as Deku has finished his training, he quickly goes for a run from one side of the beach to the other, as this takes him, I'm going to say probably about 20 minutes for a bit, as the man's like, as everybody's looking like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, everybody's like freaking out, like, yo, this guy's like fast, like, that's sick, as he gets it done like really fast. But anyway, as Deku heads for UA after his training, he gets there as he sees this girl kind of walking, as she trips over, as Deku quickly just appears in front of her as he catches her. As she just looks up, she's like, what the heck? As she looks up, she's like freaking out, like, whoa, this guy is massive. He is now 5'10". As Uraraka is like, thank you. As Deku's like, well, you're welcome. Like, it's bad luck to fall just before a test, so yeah, you're welcome. Like, it's not really a problem. She's like, that's cool. I'll see you in there. Good luck on the exam. As Deku's like, yeah, good luck to you too. As Deku goes in and they do the written portion. Deku ain't no slouch, so he pretty much aces the written portion. Like, he gets like a 98.5 or something %. He's very smart. As after that, he goes out and President Mike does his speech. As the same thing happens, except like Ida stands up. He's like, the 0 pointer is not up on here. Who are you? Like, there's a missing robot. If this is a mistake on UA's behalf, I am very disappointed in you. As President Mike's like, 0 pointer, big man. Anyway, so he continues doing the speech. That all happens, except Deku doesn't get called out because he doesn't matter. But, yeah, so, anyway, after this, they all get sent to their different portions of the exam, or different portions of the kind of training area, as they go, as Deku gets to his gate, as he sees the girl who he saved from falling over before, as he starts walking over, as Ida's like, I cannot allow you to kind of disrupt a fellow student or fellow participant, as he just looks and there's no one there, as he turns around and sees Deku just keeps walking. As he's like, I didn't even see him move. As Deku kind of taps the girl's shoulder as he says, hey, you alright? As she's like, yeah, I'm just really nervous. As Deku says, don't worry about it. Like, if you're gonna do fun, like, don't think about passing or not passing, just try your absolute best. If you trained hard enough, and if you give it the absolute hardest and just absolute maximum effort that you can, then, well, you'll have no problem. As she's like, yeah, alright. As Deku's like, yeah, awesome. So, anyway, I'm pretty sure that the test is going to start soon. So, anyway, good luck. I hope to see you in UA soon. And I'll see you later. As the gates, like, are starting to open, as soon as there's a small, a large enough crack, Deku just vanishes. As the gates just get flung open. As everybody's like, he's cheating! Like, he's cheating, what are you doing? As President Mike says, what are you doing? There's no countdown in a real battle, go, go, go! As everybody's like, as they start going and giving it the gas. As Deku, by the time they get there, Deku's already got like 200 hero points. No, I'm not going to make him that broken. Deku has got 75 hero points already. As they kind of get there and they already see just a trail of dead robot parts. As they just see the entire street is just riddled with them. As Deku, he's not even seen. Like, he's invisible to the naked eye. He's just like, they see robots they see a line of robots just get destroyed on each street. As they're like, oh my giddy, this man is absolutely beast-like. As all my, and like all the teachers, they're like, he's like him. He's just like him. As they're like, what's going on? As they're wondering like, who are you talking about? As they're like, there's another student, the same year group as him. They look just the same. Same movement, same speed. They're both just incredibly strong. As they're wondering like, okay. As pretty much Deku, he started smashing robots. As Nezu's like, well, I guess we'll send out the 0 pointer then. So as he flicks up a switch and smacks the big red button, as they feel rumbling, as they're all like, what's going on? As there's a big 0 pointer up there. As Deku just stops, he's like, that's big. Well, I don't know. Do they want that to be destroyed, or like, do they want to reuse it for a different test, or what? As she then like sees people, he then sees people running away as he hears, "Help me, please!" As Deku's like, well, there you go. Well, yeah, okay. He looks down and sees a kind of the same girl he was saving, Ochako. As he sees her, he just says, okay, well, gotta save her. So, sorry, Mr. Robot Man, but, yeah, you're dead. As immediately says that, everybody just looks at him who's walking past, is like, or running past, like, no way you can destroy that, as he just, like, disappears. As they're like, huh? As they see him, he runs up as he's like, alright, well, how far should I go? Let's just do this. As he boosts up, as he, like, just screeches to a stop, and he flies up. He just flies, as he just hovers above the 0 pointer, as he calls out, Rail Blast! As a massive blast of energy just hits the 0 pointer square in the chest, just eviscerating just the entire 0 pointer, just sending it down onto the ground as it just gets obliterated. As, yeah, that kind of gets sent. As Deku, he's like, alright, well, that's enough. As he flies down, as he asks Uraraka, he's like, hey, you alright? And she's like, yeah, my leg's stuck, though. As he's like, okay. So he picks up the rubble and moves it off her. As he picks her up, as she kind of gets sent to Recovery Girl. And after that, he kind of leaves the thing, and yeah. Now, 1 week later, Deku gets a letter from UA, as he's told he got first with 865 points. As there, he's like, probably could have done better. Maybe could have made it to 90. Oh well, past is past. As almost like, well, you got 60 hero or 180 hero points from destroying the robot. Therefore, you get 965 points. As he's like, okay, that's cool then. I nearly got 1,000. As the next day, Deku kind of goes to UA. As he walks in, as he just gets to the UA door, as he walks up, opens the door, as he sees a guy with kind of blonde hair, or no, it wouldn't be blonde hair, it would be black hair. He would see a man with black spiky hair and the man with blue hair that he saw before. As he sees him, as Ida's like, blah, 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 blah. As Deku's just standing there, he's like, where do I recognize that? Katsuki. As the kind of black-haired man turns around, he's like, Deku, how did you get into this school? As he just loses it. As we're gonna rewind 6 years, as Bakugo is kind of sent to Earth after Commander Nyon sends him off in the spaceship, as he arrives 1.5 months after Deku has landed, as pretty much the planet they were on was a lot further away from Earth than planet Vegeta is. So yeah, anyway, he arrives 1.5 months after Deku, as he lands just outside of Mustafi City, as pretty much the Hero Commission and all them picks up that a giant kind of thing has entered the atmosphere and landed in the thing. As they're wondering like, what's going there? As they're wondering like, what's this? As they see that it's a kid, as Buck goes like, no, as he's like, damn, why couldn't I defeat him? No, as they kind of bring him in, as they find out this kid is strong, so he gets trained up. He gets trained to the absolute maximum. As after this, I reckon about a year after Bakugo is sent, brought into the Hero Commission, he meets All Might, and at first he couldn't actually beat All Might, as All Might would just smash him, giving him one slap and just ending him. But after a few months, even, I would say a few years, but after a few months, because of the massive kind of Zenkai boost that he gets, Bakugo would destroy All Might easily. Katsuki would just end him, as Bakugo's ego has just skyrocketed. He's like Vegeta. He is literally Vegeta. He thinks he's number one. So he is then recommended in UA and gets number one in the recommendations. So yeah, anyway, after that, we're gonna get back to the present time. As Bakugo, he just stands up, he's like, I never wanted to see your stupid face ever again! As Deku's like, well, it's no big thing for me either, Katsuki. As after this, Bakugo's about to, he puts his hand up, he's about to blow up, kind of Deku's face, as he's trying to, he lets off an explosion, but it doesn't work. He's like, but what's going on? Why won't my key work? Come on! And he's trying to let off the explosions, but it won't work, as he then kind of gets some weird bandage things wrapped around him. He's like, you Katsuki Bakugo. It's like, huh? Katsuki Bakugo, you're not allowed to use your quirk and stuff. You do that stunt again, I'll expel you on the spot. As Katsuki's like, as yes, they just gave him a random last name since it was just easier. So they gave him the last name Bakugo. So his name is Katsuki Bakugo. And I'm just going to say it since the person in charge of the facility looking after him, his last name was Bakugo. I'm just going to say that. So his name's Katsuki Bakugo. As if you're wondering why his kind of ki and abilities aren't working, I said at the start of the kind of what if that quirks are derives from ki, so they're created from ki. Therefore, Aizawa can erase ki usage. So there you go. But anyway, so after that, kind of after that, he kind of says, "Alright, my name's Shota Aizawa. I'm your homeroom teacher for the next 3 years." As they're all like, "Oh, okay, pretty cool." As he says, "Alright, put these uniforms on, meet me outside." As he throws a uniform at Deku, he's like, "Alright." So Deku just leaves, as they're all like, "Huh? But what about," as I was like, "orientation doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is making you into heroes in the next 3 years. So you better get moving." As they're like, "Ah, okay." So, Deku and Bakugo and all those guys all get to the place, kind of, you know, that place. As they, sorry about that. They get into the locker rooms as they go and get changed. They walk in as they see Deku is shirtless, and they're like Kirishima's like, "Bro, what did you do? How'd you get this shredded?" And Deku's like, "You don't want to know." A lot of not breathing moments as he's like, "Whoa, dude, that's so manly." As Bakugo's just death glaring Deku. Deku isn't even taking notice. He's like, "Bro, the Saiyan stuff was way behind. Like, our planet was destroyed. Just let it go. We're the 2 strongest people on this planet. Come on." So anyway, after that, they walk out. Minetta's thing doesn't happen because that happens later on. After that, Deku kind of, Aizawa's like, "Alright, Midoriya." Deku's like, "Yep." And, Aizawa kind of throws him bull, says, "You got first place in the entrance exam. Throw this, don't step outside the circle." As Deku's like, "With or without my quirk?" And he's like, "I prefer it with your quirk, but with your quirk, you're taught, like, at other schools that everybody can be equal, but that's really not the case." And all of that. And Deku's like, "Alright, well, can I have 2 throws? One without my quirk and one with my quirk?" I was like, "Yeah, alright." Okay. As he grabs the ball and he yeets that thing. He sends it as it goes, I'm gonna say it goes 500 kilometers. That thing goes far. As they're like, "Huh? What?" Actually, no, I'm not gonna make them that broken. It goes 50,000 meters. There you go. So 50 kilometers. As everybody's like, "Huh? What?" As Deku's like, "Well, that wasn't that good. Oh well. Can I use my quirk now?" As I was just eyes widened. He's like, "That was without his quirk." As Deku's like, yep. Anyway, trick is here." As they're like, "Okay. Alright." So anyway, as Deku grabs the ball, he says, "Alright." As lightning starts kind of zapping around him, it starts kind of boosting around him as he says, "Photon Enhancement, 40%. As they're like, "Huh?" As Deku grips the ball and he throws that thing. As it goes flying, they see that thing whooping boost as it knocks the moon off of its orbit of the planet, as the tides are now disrupted. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, pretty much that kind of happens as Deku sends it flying. That can goes into orbit in like 2 seconds. As they're all just eyes widened, but Aizawa drops his radar. He's like, well, that's cool. Yup. As pretty much after that, everybody does the same things. Everybody gets the same results as normal. Or no, they get better results since their key is kind of stronger. So their key is kind of stronger than all of that, as they Yeah. So, yep. So, they're a little bit stronger since quirks are derived from Ki. There you go. So, they do that, and Deku, kind of Bakugo does his throw, as he does an explosion, and he kind of does the throw, as he does actually beat Midoriya. Deku comes second in the quirk apprehension test by 1 point. As everybody's mind got boggled, those two are just out of this world. As Aizawa realizes, he's like, so Katsuki Bakugo is the guy that Nezu was talking about, that Midoriya was similar to. Gotta keep my eyes on these two. As, yeah, pretty much that happens as Bakugo comes second, or Bakugo comes first, Deku comes second. As Bakugo's like, how'd you get into this world? I thought you would have died already. How'd you not die on Vegeta? As Deku's like, I left before it got blown up, but Katsuki, how's that so hard for you to believe? As Bakugo says, you're just a weak little thing I can crush under my hand. You're a lower class warrior. As Deku just appears behind Bakugo, as Bakugo's like, huh? I was a lower class Saiyan, Bakugo. I'm really not sure if that's the case now. But, oh well. Anyways, yeah, that's really not the case. So, I'm kinda not gonna say this in a harsh way, but I wasn't trying on the quirk apprehension test, Bakugo. I was going it to get by. I wasn't going it to come first, because coming first is irrelevant. As long as you save people's lives, then it doesn't matter, Katsuki. But oh well. It's your choice. If you try and come at me, I'll kill you. As they're like, okay. Cool. As Deku kinda says, alright, cool. Anyway, I'll see you later, Katsuki. I'll see you tomorrow. As they go their separate ways. As a few days later, pretty much all the classes go the same until kind of the final-ish lesson of the day. As this is when they hear footsteps. They're like, huh, what is this? As they hear, as the door busts open, as they hear, I am here! Walking through the door like a hero! As they see All Might busting through with his kind of epic pose. As everybody's like, whoa, it's All Might, what? What is going on? As they're all like, what the jazz, this is the coolest thing. As All Might says, now everybody, today we're going to be doing a heroes versus villains exercise, but first, put on your hero cut. Oh my giddy god. But first, put on your hero costumes, for the clothes make the pros. As kind of these cool suitcases go outside of the kind of thing. It goes outside of the area kind of thing that they had. Or yeah, goes out of the walls. There you go. Sorry, mind blank. As they go out and they go into the kind of hero suit area, or the changing rooms, as Manette does his pervy things, as he's like, hey guys, the upperclassmen have blessed us, you know, the blah 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 blah, you know, all that, and you know, the they've drilled a hole into the girls' locker rooms, all of this stuff, as the eye kind of get an eye poked in the eye, as he's like, ah. And yeah, so as Deku leaves, he's got a drippy outfit. What he has got on is Sorry. But yeah, his outfit is the Goku black outfit. He's got the Goku black outfit, but pretty much the outside kind of part of his gi is green. As Deku's hair is also got little, like, the ends of his hair is green. It's not completely black. The ends of his hair is a little bit green. If you're wondering why, I don't know, but that's not how Saiyans go, but oh well. As, yeah, pretty much, after this, they all leave. They're like, whoa, it's so cool. Bakugo has got the kind of Saiyan outfit, as he's got the Vegeta look. He looks like Vegeta, pretty much. Except with different hair and different face. Yeah, so they kind of go that as, they go out as they announce the teams, as it is Bakugo and Ida versus Deku and Momo. As, yeah, you see where I'm going. So after this, kind of Deku and Momo, they confront each other. They're like, hey, so what's the plan? As Momo's like, I don't know. Do you have any ideas? As Deku's like, well, I don't know. I'm more in there. I can do plans, but I'm more a go in there, beat them up kind of guy. As, yeah, kind of. Well, Momo's like, well, from what I saw, Bakugo is quite a angry guy. As Deku's like, yeah, Katsuki, he's probably gonna go straight for me. As she's like, but why? He's like, we've got a troubled past. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna question it. But yeah, so they go out as they get ready for a plan. As Deku's like, alright, so pretty much, I'll fly up, put you on top of the roof. As, can I count on you to deal with Ida? And she's like, yeah, you can count on me. It's like, alright. I think Bakugo will get really mad at me if I don't fight him. And I want to fight him. I haven't fought him in like 6 years. So, I want to fight him. So, there we go. This is just an excuse. She's like, okay. And I'll be up to you soon. This won't take long. And she's like, really? But he's strong. He's like, yeah, he's strong. But I can probably beat him. As she's like, okay. As All Might says, begin! As Deku boosts it up. As they fly up. As they kind of just appear at the roof. As Deku kind of puts Momo on the roof. As he appears back down on the floor. As they start kind of boosting it. As Deku boosts it kind of through the bottom floor all the way up, as they start boosting it through until Bakugo and Deku see each other from each side of the hallways, as they boost it to each other and start going at it. Deku screams out, what's it called again? He calls out, Photon Enhancement, 40%! As he's like, oh, that little weak ability, I'll end you! As Bakugo screams out, Palm Explosion! As he blows up Deku in the face. As Deku bounces back as he hits the wall, as he jumps off the wall, causing a massive crater in the wall. As he boosts off, as he punches Bakugo in the face, sending him through multiple buildings. As everybody's like, how strong are they? As Almight's like, well, not to alarm you kids, but young Bakugo has defeated me multiple times. As everybody's like, huh? And he's keeping up with Bakugo. How strong are these guys? As they're like, they're out of this world. As they're like, huh. Yeah. As everybody's thinking like, like, that's just metaphorical, like, they're just too strong to be in this world. But All Might's real meaning, like, they are literally aliens. They're not from this world. As All Might's figured out, like, they both have tails, all of that, as they're both the same race. As they've figured that out, they're like, alright. As they start, like, Deku and Bakugo start blasting each other, beating each other up. As Deku kicks Bakugo in the face, as he kind of hits the kind of into a building, as Deku says, "Rail Blast!" as he brings out like a massive beam hitting Bakugo, as Bakugo gets sent through the buildings and drilled through the ground, as he kind of is dazed for a second, but he boosts it back up as he tries to attack Deku, as Deku disappears and says, Kelgun, as a massive just energy orb just hits Bakugo, as it just starts hitting him, as he keeps getting slapped by kind of ki blasts. As Bakugo, he's just had enough of it, as he starts sending ki blasts of his own, as they start going at each other, just fist fighting, just ki blasts, and all that. It's kind of like the, it's a tamed down version of, kind of, what's his face, Goku versus Beerus, but, when kind of Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue and all that, and yeah. Anyway, so it's like a toned down version of that. As yeah, so they start just ending each other. As Bakugo punches him, he says, "AP shot!" as a massive just beam hits Deku square in the chest, as he gets sent flying through buildings. As Deku, he starts kicking him, as he beats him up, as he kicks him, as he says, "This isn't enough. Photon Enhancement, 45%! As he brings out a, he goes into him, punches Bakugo into the ground, as he says, "Rail Blast!" as a massive beam hits Bakugo, knocking him, not knocking him out, but dazing him enough, as Deku kind of starts boosting it towards the building, as he goes in, and he sees Momo starting to kind of fight Ida, as Ida kicks Momo onto the ground as she's about to reach the bomb, as she gets kicked into the ground, as Deku blasts through the kind of glass and through the wall, as he kicks Ida, as he kicks him quite lightly, so Ida hits the wall and kind of bounces off and hits the floor, as Momo touches the bomb, just as Bakugo is like goes into the room as he's preparing an explosion, as Momo touches the bomb, as All Might says, "Hero Team wins!" as they're like, oh. As kind of Bakugo's like, "Damn, you didn't beat me, you damn nerd. You're a Deku. You're not strong. I could end you easily." As Deku's like, "Yeah, sure." As they kind of finish that off, as getting up, sorry. As yeah, pretty much Deku, he walks up to Momo, as he leans out his hand, he's like, "Hey, you okay?" As she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." As he helps her up, as like she's like, "You're really strong," and she's like, "Yeah, so is he." As Bakugo's like, "Huh?" She's like, "That was a compliment." It's just like, he hates Deku. As Deku's like, "Oh well. Anyway, you okay? You need any help or anything?" As Momo's like, "No, I should be fine. Let's go to the kind of place. Let's go back to the thing." It's like, "Yeah, good plan." As Ida stands up, he's like, "Oh, that really hurt Midoriya." As Deku's like, "Sorry, I tried to hold back." He's like, "Yeah, you're just way too strong." Yeah, so after that, they kind of get judged, as all the rest of the kind of fights go as canon. I'm not sure if Kaminari and Jiro versus, I think it was Kaminari and Jiro versus Mineta versus Mineta and Momo. I think that was how it was, but now it's Uraraka instead of Momo. But you guys can think of that however you want. As that all kind of happens. As a couple days later, Ida becomes class president. Pretty much the same thing happens, like nothing much different happens. As class president, Ida, yay. As a couple days later, they're all announced that they're going to be going to the USJ, or going to an an off-campus kind of place to do training. As they're like, oh, sick, that's cool. So they kind of do that as they head on the bus, as everybody's talking like, who do you think the strongest is? As everybody's like, well, it's either between Bakugo or Midoriya. As Bakugo's like, huh? As he's like, he gets angry for a second, but he's kind of coming to terms that Midoriya is strong. He's no longer a lower class Saiyan, he is strong. As he finally realizes, or starting to come to terms with that, as Todoroki in his mind, he's like, huh, these two may be strong, but they couldn't defeat me in my ice. Yeah, they're thinking that. But, they kind of think that as they arrive, as I was like, oh, quiet down. Alright, you know, it's not that bad, you know. As, quiet down, we're here. As they get there, as kind of, they see 13. And Ochaku does her thing. She's like, oh my gosh, that is my favorite hero. Oh my gosh. As she's freaking out, as everybody's like, oh, okay, that's cool. As 13 makes her joke and all that, and they arrive as she's explaining that quirks are good, but they're also bad, and they can be used to either hurt people or save people. As they're like, oh, that's cool. As after that, Deku gets his danger sense kind of goes off. He's like, Sensei, Mr. Aizawa, is there supposed to be villains in here? As I was like, but no, there aren't any villains in here. He's like, well, that's not what my senses are saying to me. From what I can feel, there's a bunch of, and like, from what I can see and all that, I can pretty much detect life forms and all that. Bakugo has the same ability, or Katsuki has the same ability, and from what I can see, there aren't any. There's a bunch of life forms in here. They're like, huh? Until like a giant portal kind of spirals up as it goes out of control. As the portal arrives, as a bunch of villains head into the kind of go spiral out into the USJ. As they see there's a bunch of villains. As Deku's like, all right. Well, this is gonna be fun. As he just appears down by the villains, as nobody even knows what's happening, as he's just decking them. Like, all the villains are like, huh, some kid he thinks he's strong enough, he's probably just got some teleportation quirk. He can do nothing against. As that guy who says that just gets elbowed to the face as he gets sent flying. That man is dead. But yeah, he gets sent flying. He is gone. As they are kind of flying, as Kurogiri, he's like, alright, well, time to announce ourselves. It's like, hello everybody, we are villains. As soon as he appears, he feels a presence behind him. As he's like, huh? As he just gets grabbed by the neck and slammed. As the middle piece around his neck just gets bashed into the ground and held by Bakugo. And Bakugo's like, you think that you can beat us? You've got another thing coming, smoke face. As he's like, oh. As he says, alright, you guys hold this guy down, I'm gonna go kick some villain butt. As he just boosts it down there. As they start fighting, as they just start decking some, what was it? Some kind of villains. As Shigaraki's like, no, this can't be happening. Nomu. As the Nomu kind of appears, and he's like, kill those brats. As the Nomu kind of appears by Deku, but Deku, in his eyes, he sees it in slow motion. I know I'm making him too overpowered, but oh well, he's a Saiyan. As he appears by Deku, and Deku's like, huh? Sup? As he just, like, he's already holding a villain by the head as he just smacks the Nomu in the face with the like body of the villain, who's got a, I'm gonna say he's got a super durability quirk, as he hits the Nomu like in the face, as the Nomu's head just comes clean off. Or no, it doesn't come clean off, it just does a full 360. As the guy's like pelvis has just been destroyed, as he's like, oh my goodness, as Deku's like, oh, sorry about that, as he puts him down, as he's like, alright, well, seems that just this guy's left, as Shigeru's like, you really think that my Nomu would be defeated so easily, as Deku's like, oh, you're actually kind of strong, cool, as he just starts dominating the Nomu. He starts beating on him. As Katsuki comes along, he starts beating on the Nomu as well. They start going at him. It's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like the, what's the face? Yuji Itadori and Nanami versus the hand guy in Jujutsu Kaisen. It's kind of like that, as the Nomu's just getting ended, and these guys, they're just playing with it. They're like not even going like full power. They're just like going, this is fun. They're just going at it until Deku's like, alright, you can finish it off. As Bakugo's like, alright. And he does like a new explosion ability. He's like twisted explosion, as a giant kind of twirling explosion just hits the Nomu, as it just gets blown to pieces. That thing gets ended, as Deku's like, alright, your turn, as he appears by Kurogiri, grabs him by, oh not Kurogiri, Shigaraki, as he grabs him by the face and slams it into the ground, as he picks him up and prepares to slam, as he slams him into the ground again, but as he slams him, a portal appears underneath Shigaraki as he goes through the portal, as the portal's about to close, as Deku releases Shigaraki, as he brings his hand back out. He's like, oh well, as he turns around, as he sees Kurogiri has escaped as well, as he's like, that sucks, oh well, as pretty much the entire kind of USJ thing has been resolved pretty easily. Like, what do you expect? They're two Saiyans. There's two Saiyans. There's not just one Saiyan. There's two Saiyans. There's no way the villains would survive, as they just get ended. So, anyway, after this, they get given a couple days break, as they come back to class, as kind of after a couple days of class, the USJ is announced that, yeah, there's going to be a USJ by Aizawa, and Aizawa isn't hurt in this, so he's not bandaged or anything. But yeah, so he kind of just says like, yeah, this USJ event, blah 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 blah. And yeah, so anyway, it's cool. So after this, a bunch of other classes stand in front of the door, as Bakugo does the same thing, except, yeah, he pretty much does the same thing. He's like, as he just intimidates the classes and all that. As the sports festival happens, as everybody walks out, as they're like, woo, class 1A, woohoo! As Deku says a speech, he's like, alright, good luck everybody, I'm gonna win, and hope we have a good time, and hope you guys enjoy watching and all that, and hope everybody tries their best, let's go! As everybody's like, whoa, it's a great speech. As Deku, it gets announced that it's an obstacle course, as pretty much, I'm not even gonna lie, like, it's not really a challenge for Deku and Bakugo, as they start boosting it, as they go at it, and Deku and Bakugo, through these 2 weeks of training for the sports festival, trained like nothing else, as Deku's like, alright, well, that's cool. So they start boosting it. They just blitz past everything, as they're neck and neck until Bakugo forces an explosion square in Deku's face as they're going through the tunnel and back like into the stadium to win. Bakugo causes an explosion in Deku's face as he gets knocked back a second, as Bakugo wins by like 0.001 seconds. And they're like, woo, Bakugo! And yeah, and everybody else comes in after that. Has Todoroki comes third and all that. So Deku's second, Bakugo first, and yeah. So after this, it is announced that it is going to be a cavalry battle, as they do that, and Deku teams up with Momo, Kaminari, and Uraraka, as they kind of team up, and everybody's like, oh, that's pretty cool. So if you're wondering like why, this is strategy. So pretty much Deku uses his kind of flying powers. He's on the bottom, Momo is on the top, and Uraraka and all that. As Deku, Uraraka floats them all, as Deku kind of just carries them all as he flies up. As anybody who comes near, Kaminari will just use a kind of electricity, as Momo will do her whole kind of blanket thing, as everybody's like, oh, that's cool. So they do a in-ceiling blanket so Kaminari can lightning them without getting lightninged, or without the rest of them getting electrocuted. As after this, Deku wins as he kind of goes down, as they come second. He can't be bothered to go after Bakugo's team, as they kind of just look after themselves, as they just go around stealing headbands and all of that. As yeah, they let Bakugo do it, as they know there's going to be 1v1s and they're going to win there. So after this, Todoroki confronts Deku saying, I'm going to beat you with only half my power. As Deku's like, okay, have fun. As he's also like, why have you and Bakugo have got the same quirk? Is it something that you two are brothers or something? As Deku's like, me being brothers with him, bro, please. I would say I wish, but no, really not. He sucks. I don't suck. You know? Not really, I'm playing with you, but no, seriously, like, we're not brothers. I would say we're possibly related, but I don't know, we're not brothers. Yes, he's like, oh, yeah. I'll beat you with half my power. It's like, okay. So anyway, 1v1s is announced, as it is announced that it's Deku versus Shinzo, as Deku kind of gets told by Ojiro that, hey, this guy's like got a what is it? This guy's got strength, or not strength. This guy has a mind control quirk, and it works when you talk to him. As Deku's like, okay, but when I was like tapped, or when I got damaged, it like knocked me out of it. So possibly it's damage or something that knocks you out of it. As Deku's like, all right. Anyway, so Deku's like, okay, let's go. As Shinzo, they walk out, as Shinzo's like, you know, you're so blessed to have a blessed quirk and blah blah blah. As Deku's like, okay, whatever. As things announced, Deku just appears with Shinzo, as Shinzo's like, he's just gripped Shinzo by the shoulder, as he just puts Shinzo down. As Shinzo's like, huh? As he looks down, as he sees he's on the like edge of the thing, as it's announced that Deku has won the battle. As Shin's like, huh? I didn't even get to. As Deku's like, get stronger. Like, actually, Midnight, can I please like ask something? Is he's like, yeah, okay, sure. So Deku's like, okay, talk to me. As he's like, huh? Okay. As Deku's like, why did you become a hero? As Deku's like, I became a hero because it was pretty cool. As he just stops, and Shinzo's like, okay, do 10 push-ups. As Deku goes down, does 10 push-ups. As He's like, okay, walk off stage. As Deku walks off stage, as they're like, whoa, that's such a cool quirk, like, that could be so useful. As everybody's like, whoa, this guy's got so much potential. As, like, yeah, he's like freaking out. He's like, oh my goodness, like, they believe in me. As Deku, he snaps out of the mind control, as he's like, you've got a good quirk, Shinzo, like, just use it right. As he starts crying, he's like, yeah, like, just train better and you'll do good. As he's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. As he's like, yay, and all that. As after this, Deku is kind of watching the things as he watches Momo kind of get beaten by Tokiyami, as he comforts her after the loss, saying like, hey, it's alright, like, he may have thought ahead of you, but like, it doesn't matter, like, this is just one battle, like, just because you lost one battle doesn't mean that you're not good. There are some people who are out of our leagues, there's some people who are out of my league, like, I will get like, absolutely destroyed by some people out there. As Momo's like, no way, you're the strongest person ever. He's like, oh no, no, I am not. And she's like, okay. As yeah, so after this, Todoroki Deku is confronted by Endeavor, as he says like, you make Todoroki use his full powers. He's like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for him because he needs to get stronger. It's like a stupid kid. As Deku, he pretty much, like, not even gonna lie, like, he straight up, like, Todoroki, like, prepares to start. Deku's like, alright, use your full power or else I'm gonna end this right here. As he's like, huh? No way you can do that, you're not strong enough. As Deku's like, oh, I definitely am strong enough. As Todoroki uses his ice, he does a massive ice blast as Deku literally appears with Todoroki, like, up above the ground, like, literally just outside. So he's like, now use your fire now or else I'm gonna push you out of this ring. As Todoroki's like, never. He was like, oh my goodness. As he throws him back inside of the ring, he's like, oh my goodness, it's your quirk, Todoroki, it's not his quirk, it's yours. As Todoroki's like, it is. As he prepares to use fire, he's like, as he shoots the fire towards Midoriya. As Midoriya just, like, Deku just walks through the fire. He's like, nice, alright, you're strong now, cool. Anyway, I need to win this, I need to defeat Bakugo. So, anyway, thanks for this was enjoyable. As he appears behind Todoroki and just chops him in the neck. As he slumps over and he catches Todoroki. After this, Ida kind of just gets straight up ended. Like, it's not even a challenge. I'm sorry, Ida, but you're literally nothing. As Deku and Bakugo, they prepare to do their quick. As Bakugo's matches, yup. You can imagine how it goes. As Deku versus Bakugo, they pretty much, before this starts, they agree to settle, like, this feud right now. Like, it's just enough. Like, they both agree, they're both strong, and they can both protect this world. They can be rivals, but not, like, not hate each other. As they're like, yeah, okay. As, yeah, so, as they fight, pardon me, it starts as Deku, he kind of starts, they just boost in front of each other as they do a massive fight, pretty much the same as before, as they start boosting each other, as beating on each other, just boom, 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 as they start fighting, and just blow for blow, blast for blast, all of that, until Deku finally screams out, he finally screams out, sorry, he finally screams out, Photon Enhancement, 50%, as he punches, kind of Bakugo straight into the ground, sending him flying. And that does put strain on Deku's arm, but not enough to hurt him that much. As then he screams, Rail Blast! As he blasts kind of Bakugo out of the, or into the kind of thing, sending him out of the ring and dug like a couple meters into the ground. As Bakugo's like, I'll let you. As Deku's like, no, you're out of bounds, big man. As Bakugo's like, damn. So that happens. They start, and Deku pretty much wins the sports fest. He's like, yeah, we won. As they get 2 days off of their kind of after to recover, as they get their hero offers. As Deku got 5,000, Todoroki got 4,050, Bakugo got 4,000. As everyone's like, whoa, what's the, that's so cool. As they're like, hero names, what's your hero names? As Deku comes up, he's like, my name's Deku. As Bakugo's like, you're literally using your name. As Deku's like, yeah, might as well. So like, what? But your name's Izuku Midori. It's like, yeah, that's my Japanese name anyway. It's like, okay, whatever. What's your actual name? He's like, my actual name is Deku. Like, my foster dad, I guess, his name, the old man who took care of me, he called me Izuku Midori after his like daughter or something, and or son-in-law, something like that. As they're like, okay. So anyway, Deku ends up interning with Edgeshot, and Bakugo ends up interning with Murako. As Deku learns to kind of do speed and precision as he starts getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, and just more ninja as he just gets stronger. As Bakugo, he learns to just kick ass and take names, you know. But he learns to kick butt and just take names. He learns that from Murako, as pretty much one of the final days of the kind of internships, kind of, since Deku, I'm gonna say that both of their hero agencies are at Hosu City. The Hosu City kind of attack happens, as Bakugo, he just wipes all of the Nomu off the face of the earth, like there is no problem. As Deku, as Deku, he's kind of like he hears a sound of somebody screaming, as he just gaps it to that place. He just goes max speed, flying to this alleyway, as he sees this guy with a sword about to stab into Ida. As Deku just sends a ki blast straight into this guy's face, as he gets launched back. As Deku recognizes him as the Hero Killer Stain, as he says, "Oh, Hero Killer, what a nice surprise." Anyway, Ida, what are you doing, man? Like, you could have died. He was like, "Get out of here! This is my fight! Get out of here!" As he's like, nah, no can do, buddy. You see, I'm a hero, so I need to help you. Like, I can't just leave you guys here. As he pretty much just grabs Ida and Native, as he just sends them, as he pretty much dashes to the outside of the kind of building area of the alleyway, as he leaves them out there. As he sends up a giant ki blast that explodes in the air to notify his position. As Stain recognizes him as a true hero, as he says, "You kid, you're a true hero. But I can't let you leave. I can't let you leave with my prey. Those two are not fake. Those two are fake heroes. They need to die." As Steve's like, nah, no can do. As he dashes towards Stain, as he just chops him in the neck, knocking him out. As the kind of thing, the credit kind of goes to one of the heroes, who wouldn't have been Endeavor, because Endeavor wasn't there, but it goes to like Edgeshot, let's say. And pretty much after the internships go to the end, as after the internships, All Might kind of says that it's going to be a race, as the two different races. Deku, should I even explain? He, like, they say go, Deku is at there. He is just at All Might. As he touches him, he's like, Izuku Midoriya wins. As Bakugo, he's the same. He's just there in an instant, pretty much. As the final exams are pretty much explained that that's going to happen, as Deku's like, well, as people who aren't very smart ask like Deku and Momo and all those guys if they can help people study, as they're like, yeah, cool. As through this they Deku and Momo get a very good friendship on and all of that. As after this they are told that they are fighting the, like, for the final exam, they're told that they're fighting the teachers instead of the, like, robots. As pretty much it's told that Deku and Momo are fighting Aizawa, as Bakugo and Shoto are fighting All Might. As Deku and Momo, they prepare themselves. They're like, alright, we need to figure out a plan. So they prepare themselves, as they kind of come up with the plan that Deku, he is going to be the bait, as he's going to pretty much, he's going to kind of just try be the bait, as Momo will get to the exit. As this happens, kind of Aizawa gets there, as he opens his eyes, like, as he plucks off their quirk, as Deku, Deku, he kind of fights the guy, he, like, lures out Aizawa. He's like, hey, come at me, you dumb villain. As Aizawa's like, alright. So he kind of goes there, as he tries to trap Midoriya, as Deku just grabs the scarf and throws it to the ground. As he then quickly wraps up Aizawa in the scarf, as Momo puts on the handcuffs. As that went pretty easy. And Bakugo versus Shoto, or Bakugo and Shoto versus, or Todoroki versus All Might. It's not even a contest. Like, Bakugo slaps him. Like, All Might gets decked. They win, and the rest of the kind of fights go the same. As the forest they're told that the forest training is all gonna everybody's going to the forest training, even though some of them didn't win and some of them failed, and therefore they're just gonna get some more remedial classes during the training. As for the training, Deku and Bakugo pretty much just spar the entire time and train their ki control and all of that. As that all happens, and so when they first get on the bus, like, they pretty much just rock up. They're like, hey, what's going on? As the Pussycats kind of rock up, they rock up as they're like, oh, that's cool, why are they here? And Deku just floats above the ground, as Pixie Bob does her whole thing, as it goes as they throw them off the mountain, with Deku just floating in the air. As I was like, Midoriya, go down to your classmates. And Deku's like, fine. As he flies down, as they go down and destroy, like, every monster in pretty much minutes. As that happens, they get back and they get given food and all that. As Deku goes into kind of greet the guy, greets Koda, but Koda's like, no, you're dumb, and all that. As he is like, no, like, you're a dumb hero and all that. As he goes in to punch Deku in the family jewels, and then Deku just grabs his wrist and he's like, dude, that's not cool. As Deku just, like, drops his hand, as he's like, nah, that's not cool, kid. As he walks off. As for Deku and Bakugo's training, they're just sparring with each other and, just yeah, just sparring, as Deku also does the kind of, he just starts burrowing a hole in the mountain, as he just starts punching the mountain or in the cliff, as it slowly kind of gets borrowed out for training. As one day they're given food, as just one of the days, just the rest of the day they're not given food, just one day. No. For one of the days, kind of there in the spa kind of area, as Midia's gonna do his thing. He's like, as Deku, he's like, blah, and Deku saves Koda from his fall, as he gives him back to Mandalay, as Mandalay tells him Koda's story. He's like, okay, understandable. As Deku kind of saves him. As the next night they are given food, as Deku realizes Koda isn't there, as he goes up to Koda and he gives him food. He's like, go away, you dumb hero wannabe. And Deku's like, I do know what happened to your parents, and like, just gotta say, like, you're not alone. As Koda's like, what do you know? You probably still have your parents and all that. And Deku's like, well, not really. Like, my entire like race was murdered. As he's like, just looks at him like strange, like, what? He's like, yeah, like, everybody I knew when I was 8 years old was murdered. And Koda's like, huh? What? As Deku's like, yeah, like, I'm being serious. He's like, huh? But what? He's like, yeah. Anyway, just know you're not alone, and yeah, like, if you need any help with anything, coping or anything like that, just tell me, and I'm here for you. As Koda's like, okay. As then they hear, oh, that's so touching, kid. That's so touching. And Deku's like, well, it's what I'm trying to be, but no, well, who are you? As he's like, oh, it doesn't matter who I am. We're looking for two kids. One by the name of Izuku Midoriya and another one by the name of Katsuki Bakugo. And Deku's like, well, you found Midoriya here. As he's like, oh well, this is gonna be fun. As he goes in for a punch, as he goes into punch Koda, Deku grabs his wrist and just breaks it. He just crushes Muscular's wrist as he punched Muscular in the face, breaking like every bone in his face, sending him straight into the hill, leaving him like unconscious on the verge of death. As after that, he takes Koda down to kind of Aizawa, saying, yo, like, these guys are after Katsuki and I, like, we gotta go on. Or an even better idea, Mr. Aizawa, what if we let ourselves get captured? As he's like, huh? He's like, yeah, give me your phone. Or like, give me your phone. It's just like, okay. Or he's got his phone on him. As he like gives him the phone, as he puts a tracker on it. He's like, alright, put this in my pocket. Alright. We'll pretend to get captured, and yeah, that will work pretty well. As he's like, okay. So they go, and he goes and finds Bakugo. He's like, Katsuki, they're trying to be here. As he takes, pretty much, Bakugo, he takes down, like, Moonfish so easily, as, like, he doesn't even have a shot. He just gets murked immediately. But, yeah, so he's like, hey, Katsuki, they're after us, so, yeah, you know, like, let's get captured. He's like, huh? Are you crazy, you damn nerd? And Deku's like, just listen, hear me out. If we get captured, I've got to, you know, if we get, like, he whispers this to him. He's like, if we get captured, you know, like, they can find us. It's just like, damn, fine. It's just like, alright, so, anyway, let's fight. As, they find another kind of guy, as, Darby shoots fire at them, and through this fire, they get, kind of trapped in Mr. Compressor's marbles. As they just think, Deku thinks in his mind, he's like, man, this couldn't work better. If you guys have seen Golden What Ifs and his story, then, you know, his Phoenix story, then you can see where I got that. But, yeah, so, anyway, they kind of get caught, and they get sent back to the thing. Is pretty much Deku wakes up and he's brought out of the kind of thing. He's like, so you're trying to restrain us in these quirk cancelling cuffs and restraining us as what's his face, as yeah, pretty much the guys are like, yes, and a master is going to steal your quirk. He's like, well, here's our problem. I don't have a quirk. It's just like, that's impossible. How would you have? But I'll take out Mount Nomu and all the things you've done. And he's like, well, skill, training, not being a little wuss. As all for one's like, oh, calm down, Shigaraki. As he walks out and he goes and says, Izuku Midoriya Katsuki Bakugo. I'm gonna give you a choice. Join us or die. His dick is like, how about neither? His one's like, I don't believe you know the predicament you're in. His dick is like, oh, I completely understand the predicament I'm in. I don't think you do. As one's like, give me your damn quirk, kid. As he grabs Midoriya by the face as he tries to scan for a quirk, but he can't feel one. His dick is like, I told you, I'm quirkless. As he pretty much just releases his aura as everything in the room just explodes. As Bakugo does the same, as they just scream out there like, Aah! As, yeah, it's not really a challenge. As they both kind of go around and just slap all of the villains. Like, they'll get dicked. Spinner, bro, he's gone. I don't know, Mr. Compress gets compressed. Darby, yeah, he gets slapped. He gets just flamed. He gets mad. He just get. It's hard to explain what happens, you know. Like, there's no chance of their survival. Like, they just get ended. And yeah, so pretty much they do all that as they do their fighting. As it doesn't take long, as it's just all for one. As all for one, it's like, you may have been able to take down our weak fry, but I'm the most powerful thing on this planet. You cannot possibly defeat me. His dick is like, yeah, well, All Might once said we're otherworldly. As they kind of release their auras, as Deku just goes into All For One and just beats him as he screams out, as he screams out, Photon Enhancement, 50%, as he boosts over to All For One, punches him square in the face as he just gets dicked. And yeah, so after that, they kind of all get captured. All For One pretty much is in life support, like even more life support. He's pretty much a vegetable. All For One's a vegetable. As, yeah, so he pretty much gets smacked. And yeah, so after that, they're all saved as it's the provisional hero license. And All Might has not kind of lost all his power yet. As, what was it? After this provisional hero license, yeah. Onwards. So, they get their hero licenses. It's not even a challenge. Like, they get decked. Quick overview. All of the other schools get ended immediately. And, for the kind of thing, Deku ends, Gang Orca's career before it even started on that day. And after that, yeah, everybody passes. Todoroki and Inasa thing doesn't really happen because Deku kind of slaps him out of it before it can happen. He's like, bro, you gotta sort this out later on. Like, come on. It's like, okay. So, they sort things out. And, yeah, so that's a very quick overview. of what happens there. As after this, what happens after this? Oh yeah, pretty much Deku gets an invite from. No, firstly, it is the hero kind of license thing, or not hero license thing. What's his face kind of guy. We're up to is Mirio kind of does his whole thing as he rocks up as Aizawa presents, it's the big three, as everybody's like, whoa, big three, what? As, yeah, pretty much that all happens, and Midoriya kind of isn't allowed to fight them, neither is Bakugo, as they kind of do their thing, as, yeah, pretty much, they're not allowed, and the rest of the class kind of gets the clap, as Izuku can sense that Mirio's got too quick, so he goes up to him and he's like, so are you like All Might's successor or something? As Mirio's like, huh? It's like, yeah, like your life form and All Might's life force is like very similar, so, you know, as he's like, no comment, is like, okay, confirmed. So yeah, after that, pretty much Deku gets an invite from Edgeshot to come back to the agency to be a kind of student guy, intern thing. Yeah, so he's pretty much sent to Edgeshot as they greet each other again. They're like, yo, what's good? And all that, as Deku is then kind of told by Edgeshot that Night Eye has required, or has sent some, like, a aid request that he needs help on a certain mission. As Deku's like, yeah, okay. As he goes over to Night Eye's agency, he's like, yo, what's good? As he sees, kind of Bakugo and Mirio there, as he's like, oh, okay, cool. These guys are here. That's cool. As they get run up on the story, as Deku goes with Mirio, Bakugo goes with Bubble Girl. As that's kind of how that goes. As they go walking, as Deku asks, like, so how's life? And Mirio's like, oh, it's pretty good and stuff. And after this, they run into a little girl, and this little girl's like gripping onto Deku as he's like, alright, this girl's in trouble. As he hands her over to Mirio, he's like, alright, hold on to her, get back to Night Eye. As Mirio's like, but, wait, but, what? As he's like, yeah, okay, get on. As Deku kind of gives, he's like, alright, Mr. Overhaul, your reign of terror has come to an end. As Overhaul's like, give her back, hero. As Deku's like, not happening. As he just blitzes, he just appears by Shizuki. As he just puts his hand up to Overhaul's head, as he says, Calgon. As he just shoots Overhaul square in the head, knocking him out, turning him into a vegetable. No, he just gets knocked out. As they get murked, he gets murked, and after this, they see like a ship coming down, and so like, what's this? As Deku, they all meet up in the middle, like group, as they like are talking, as they see a ship coming down from the skies. They're like, everybody's wondering like, oh, what's going on? Is this like aliens? As Deku and Bakugo's eyes widen, as they both just say like, no, it can't be, please, no way, no, nah. As everybody's looking at them like, what's going on? As he's, no. As Night Eye, he's kind of been brought into the thought like, yeah, these guys are aliens. As they're like, no way. As Deku, Mirio's like, what's going on? As Deku just spills beans, he's like, alright, long story short, we're aliens, we're not from this planet, this guy destroyed our homeworld. And so they're like, huh? He's like, yeah, there's no way, please, no. as they're wondering like, what, boy, no one's strong enough to destroy a planet, and they're like, he is, as they're freaking out. He's like, okay. As he just, they just start flying up as they like decide to fight Frieza. As they're like, yo, Frieza, what's good? As Frieza comes out, he's like, okay, 2 monkeys that I need to eradicate. As he sends out a massive blast, as they start fighting across the streets start getting destroyed and all of that. As Deku and Bakugo, they start fighting until All Might arrives, as he starts like buffing up, as he goes up to Frieza and punches him as hard as he can, as it does nothing. As All Might's shocked, he's like, no, impossible. As Frieza is up to his kind of full form by this point. Like, he's up to his final form, Frieza. As he's like, you weak. As he shoots All Might in the chest with a death beam, killing him on the spot. As the 2 Saiyans just look in horror as they're like, no way. All Might. As what's his face? As Frieza turns around to see like their auras flicking gold, as he's wondering like, what is this? Until their auras just explode with golden, as their aura is just a golden yellow, as their hairs have spiked up into a yellow hair. As he realizes, yeah, he's a little bit in the shtuck. So he realizes like this is the legendary Super Saiyan. He must kill them. As he boosts towards Bakugo, as he shoots him square in the face with a death beam. It doesn't kill him, but it injures him, as he gets sent back. As Deku goes up to him, as he punches him, as he screams. As he screams, Photon Enhancement 100%! As he just gives like Frieza the beating of his life, as he screams Rail Cannon or Rail Blast, as he shoots Frieza, as it pretty much incinerates him. And yeah, so after this, pretty much life goes on. Deku and Bakugo become the kind of number 1 and number 2 heroes. Gikato Makia is defeated by Deku pretty easily. He kind of just gets slapped. And the Meta Liberation Army kind of gets taken down pretty easily. As, yeah, that all kind of happens. And that is where we're going to end off this epic What If. If you guys have stuck this long, thank you. I didn't actually realize how long this was going to be, but it's quite long. So, anyway, what can you do? What can you do? Anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much for 100 subs. I want to thank Golden What Ifs. Like, bro, you're a legend. Thank you so much for helping me out. Thank you for, like, even though a lot of the people who watch this channel are probably from him, or, yeah, I just want to thank you, dude, so much that you have helped me out through all this. And, yeah, just, you're awesome, dude, and just keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys later on. Remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. If you guys have any ideas, then let's just hit it down in the comments or whatever. If you guys enjoyed this, then subscribe. If you guys have any kind of suggestions, recommendations, or whatever, if you have any ideas on how I can do things better, then just tell me in the comments. I am open for criticism and suggestion, all of that, as I want to get better and provide better stories and entertainment for you guys. So I just want to thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers, and I just want to thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. So anyway, this is the end of pretty much What If Deku and Bakugo were Saiyans, into the movie, and yeah, just thank you so much. So I'll see you guys later, and let's just see you in the next What If. You guys are awesome. Laters.